Alex McCord, and welcome to The Real Deal on thestir.com. Oh my goodness, this week we have got major fallout from last week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. It continued this week, both on and off the screen. We'll also check in on Mob Wives, and I'll take your viewer questions. Wow, Atlanta, Kenya Moore. She wanted to have a masquerade ball in honor Nene Leakes. She wanted it to be like Eyes Wide Shut, but it was mouths wide open with all this drama. Supposedly, the money raised at this event benefited a charity Saving Our Daughters that Nene Leakes supports. After last week's episode aired, the charity Saving Our Daughters released a statement on its website throwing both Kenya and the Real Housewives producers under the bus. They didn't know about the event. They weren't a part of it. They didn't benefit from it. They got no money from it, although they did acknowledge that Kenya gave them a check for $500 for a toy drive. Well, Kenya did not take that lying down. It only heated up from there. She released photos of deposited checks and text messages back and forth between herself and the organizers of the charity. And as of today, Saving Our Daughters has removed that statement from their website. You know what I think? I think perhaps Nene Leakes called the charity when she saw her DVD of that episode and got them into the fight. If you do a little Googling, you'll see that Nene does support the charity. She played for them on the Celebrity Price is Right. She's involved with them. And if Nene called them and said, Kenya's making y'all look bad, they might be quick to draw up a statement. They might be quick to choose Nene over Kenya. However, Kenya fought back, and she fought back hard, and that statement is gone off the internet, although it's been copied on many different gossip websites everywhere, and apparently now they haven't filed the right paperwork, and their tax shelter something or other is in question. They might not really be a charity. This does not look good for them. This is another reason why charities tend to run miles and miles away from the Real Housewives. They don't want to be involved. Speaking as someone who has been through event battles, it is vital to keep copies of texts, checks, emails, and all these things if you are ever attacked about a filmed event through a cast member or an organization, no matter what. There's always a paper trail, and if Kenya wanted vindication, she could get it. Now, what I will say I don't like is Kenya's attitude. On Twitter, she linked to the evidence and said, "Don't come for me unless I send for you." Kenya's being too cocky, with a K. She needs to realize that although she's right, it's not going to make people like her anymore if she has this attitude. They just hate her less. Although I guess you could call that a win on reality TV. Well, next, there's off-screen trouble for Phaedra Parks. Now, we've all heard that her husband, Apollo Nida, was arrested on charges of identity theft and bank fraud, and it appears that Bravo are running a mile from Phaedra. She was supposed to be the next Atlanta housewife to get a spinoff. Does it seem like they're handing them out like Christmas bonuses down there? Well, it is because out of the entire Real Housewives franchise, Atlanta rates the best. It's still breaking records. It's going up, not down, like all the other cities, so of course they're all getting spinoffs. In any case, Phaedra was supposed to start filming Rich People's Problems based around her career as an attorney. Don't forget she represented Bobby Brown with his things with Whitney Houston. Anyway, she was supposed to be defending rich people from their problems or something like that. Well, Wendy Williams broke the story that it's done. The spinoff is over, axed, not happening because of Apollo's problems. And by the way, one of Wendy's producers is Andy Cohen's BFF, so she's got a direct line to all this casting gossip. I'm sad for Phaedra because she will need the money if her husband winds up behind bars. Bravo seems to be getting tired of their talent being in court and unable to speak freely when they film, so I wonder whether Phaedra will be fired from next season as well. But let's get to the drama of last night's episode, shall we? My two favorite parts were Greg drinking out of a coffee mug shaped like a toilet and Phaedra's son keeping his family honest. They wanted to film a sweet family scene saying grace around the table, and little Aiden was having none of it. No, Daddy, we don't do that. We don't hold hands. We don't do this. There is no scripting reality around kids. Woohoo! Now that we've talked about the baby, let's talk about the ladies who acted like babies, shall we? Nene did not redeem herself this week. She called Peter a monster. Why? Because he called her out on her bad behavior. She called Marlo an opportunist. Clearly, because Marlo has become friends with Kenya, Nene is done with her, as in throwing water in her direction, ripping off her microphone. Nene is done. Now, I ask you this. Does anybody care at this point whether Nene is done or not? Now, don't get me wrong, Kenya should have called Nene before the charity event, and I'll bet she was afraid to because she knew Nene would say no. Kenya wanted the producers to do her dirty work and get Nene to show up at that ball. She should have been ballsy enough to just call Nene herself. She could have made storyline out of Nene saying no, don't honor me. She could still work with that. I did not know how Nene could possibly make herself look worse throughout this episode, but wait, she did it. She played the bully card. She said she was bullied into participating in the ball. I would like to apologize on behalf of Nene Leakes, because she won't do it herself, to everyone everywhere in the world who has ever been bullied. Because guess what? Nene was not bullied. It did not happen. On that note, let's move on to Mob Wives. It is a cliffhanger, isn't it? So will Alicia go to jail? Will her brother and mother be able to take care of things if she's carted away? Will Junior get out of prison and start terrorizing Renee? And by the way, do we like Renee again? I have to say, Nene Leakes, Renee Graziano. I think Renee's okay here. I mean, I have to say, Natalie appears like a fighting fembot to me at this point. She attacks people, Renee in particular, and that's okay because it's your job on reality TV to attack people, but there's no context. She's not attacking for any real reason. It just seems like it's out of nowhere. So if Renee wants to write a dirty novel, more power to her. I mean, the thing is, reality stars can't really write tell-all books until they're safely out of contract and can actually tell all. So you may as well write fiction. Why not? I say get rid of Natalie the Fembot, keep Drita, Ange, and Renee, and keep Alicia if she's not in prison. Are you excited to see what happens next? Because I kind of am. Well, let's get to viewer questions. Cynthia Beaumont asked me how long ago the upcoming season of The Real Housewives of New York City was filmed. Well, they wrapped filming in September, Cynthia. So, The Big Apple will have been on the shelf for almost 6 months when it starts airing, and that's the longest it's ever been. That's a really long lead time. Things can change, as we're seeing in the press. And Zucchini Green asked me a Beverly Hills question. She wanted to know whether Yolanda shutting down the Carlton, Lisa, and Kyle drama at her daughter's graduation party was sincere mothering, or was she just angry that the ladies were stealing camera time? Well, I think Yolanda was probably sincere that she didn't want the ladies overshadowing the event because it was about Gigi. However, you have to remember that all these events are nothing more than a backdrop for the storyline and the drama. So Yolanda was really lucky that we even saw Gigi. She was right as a mother to shut them down, but it was risky because she ran the risk of the whole segment being cut if no drama between the ladies happened. Now, in New York, if we filmed something that we really, really wanted to make the final cut, we would talk amongst ourselves with the cast and talk about storyline points or needle each other on purpose to create drama so that it would finally make the final edit. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Renee Graziano, Nene Leakes. Was Nene in fact bullied? Does anyone anywhere in the world believe that? Let me know what you thought in the comments. For now, I am Alex McCord. You are watching The Real Deal on TheStir.com. See you next time.